afternoon. How you doing? Wow. Let me say, welcome to another program in the series of What's on Your Mind. I'm Carl. The program is produced by Breakthrough TV at gmail.com. Let me say thank you for tuning in. And as I say, the program is called What's on Your Mind. Self-explanatory, really, isn't it? Gonna come to my what's on my mind a little later on in the program. As you know, I always have a look at what's going on around the world in the last couple of days, and later on I have my rants, and also I'll be looking at a very serious story that we had some time ago. Yeah, I'm paying respect. So how you doing? How's your week been? Which Thursday again? And no, it's not Thursday, it's Wednesday. And I'm so busy these days, I don't even know what date it is. I know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in to the program. As I say, it's quite hot in the UK still. It's autumn, isn't it? We're in September, so September means it's autumn. But I say it's quite hot today. It's been hot yesterday, and it's been hot today as well. You know what I mean? But we make the most of it, because sooner or later, in the next couple of weeks, the temperature is gonna be dropping down, and you see me in the studio here with my pot up, because I always wear a lot of clothes in the winter, because I've learned a long time ago, you have to dress for the occasions. So I always do that in the winter. Anyway, let me say thanks once again for tuning in. And don't forget, this is our 22nd program. And you can go back to the first. We roll on. Let's say this is a live stream. So if you see a little bit of oops, doops, it's a live stream. Nobody else does this. So we do it, right? Thank you for tuning in. So let me look at what's happening around the world. Now, there's a lot of stuff being happening around the world. So let me start with a few stories that's happening around the world. So, fire break. What is a fire break? Well, I'll tell you what is a fire break. Because one thing I've noticed about this coronavirus and the pandemic, it has poured up or turned up a lot of different words. Well, a fire break is what you call short term. And according to Birmingham Live, October lockdown by the government, plans has all been drawn up. And the restrictions could be introduced again. Stage has briefed the eye with the publication reporting that half term could last for 2 weeks if hospitalization cases keep rising in the UK. However, the government has said it has no plans for a lockdown. So that is what you call a fire break. It's a short term, possibly lockdown, because the coronavirus is still rising. It's still rising. Worldwide, it's still rising. It's not getting, even though a lot of people has their vaccination and they've had 2 vaccinations, it's still rising. Yeah, so we still have to be so careful. And I'm not one of these, or not one of these supporting any government, but it's a reality thing. So we have to be careful out there, yeah? Okay, let me move on. Now, it's happening again. And it's happening again, and it's happening again, and it seems to be happening again. So, England had played Hungary in a football match, and Raheem Sterling, as well as Jude Bellingham, came under racist abuse once again. Now, FIFA says it's planned to take action, but nevertheless, they have come under racist abuse. And I think if FIFA wants to stop that, they know how to stop it. They should be able to stop it, because cameras is always in the ground. And I've said many, many times before, for me to stop that, what I'd actually do, I'd actually look at the cameras in the ground and actually stop some of the fans going to the ground, or stop playing with empty stadium, or take points off these, wherever it happens, take points off this team. And you'll see how quick the fans will shut up and behave themselves. The so-called racist fans. Then again, some people will say they are not known fans of football. Yeah? There you have it. Now my next story is the new editor for the African Caribbean National newspaper, and it is the only one. Now, the new editor has said the UK is going backwards in recognizing institutional racism in the media and in wider society. Lester Holloway, the new editor of The Voice, has said this. He also pointed out government race report which criticize for downplaying structural racism by the Metropolitan Police Chief, who said the force was not institutional racist or institutionalized racist. And he said this is a worrying trend in the UK. It's a worrying trend because when you're playing these things down, it can only get worse. So that is what the editor of The Voice is actually saying. Yeah? Yeah. Now, a very, very serious story. Well, now this is a little bit right at home. This is right at home. So this is not easy for me to do. Michelle Hemings from Birmingham, who received a single lung transplant in 2018. She has died due to complications. And Michelle was a champion, a fabulous person. She had been doing very, very well because she came on a couple of programs that we did. She take part in this program. She also take part in a few different programs that Breakthrough TV also do. And she also did a couple of radio interviews, you know what I mean? And she has been a champion for raising awareness of organ donation. And she was one of the famous 5, you know what I mean, who receive treatments, you know what I mean? And I say she had one lung and she has left us. So we say big condolence to Michelle's family, you know what I mean? And I say she was such a wonderful lady. And I'm hoping later on in the program to play a bigger respect to her. A wonderful program. Wonderful lady. Wonderful. And that was also a wonderful program. Yeah. So please send a prayer for Michelle Hemings' funeral and her family. Thank you. Five, 6, 7, 12, 13. Jamaican PM Andrew Holness has warned that people who try to put pressure on the government to get involved and open up the curfew in Jamaica is now wasting their time. He said he's done it before. And he had pressure from the entertainment industry of reopening up certain venues. And he did that in August, from July to August. And he did that. And a lot of people was partying and dancing and doing this and doing that. And he says in August, it actually caused a rise in coronavirus case. Stay tuned because I got a few advice for him later on in this program. I know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. I got a few advice for Mr. Andrew Hodis, yeah. Moving on, yeah. We're going to sports. In sports, Max Verstappen wins the game second. Valtteri Bottas came third. And the championship lead now is 25 points for Max Verstappen. Lewis Hamilton has 19. And Valtteri Bottas has 15. So Max Verstappen is actually leading the Drivers' Championship. So it could be a very, very interesting time. And I'd say he's leading by 4 points. So it'll be interesting to see how it's. I think it's going to be very tight this year. Very tight. I myself is a big motor racing fan, and I think it's going to be very, very tight this year. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Wife has released a statement. Hint, hint. At foul play. She has released the statement on IG account. Mrs. Perry has issued a statement saying, I have no words to express what has happened to her husband. She also said he was not sick. He was not sick. Yeah, she literally says there was nothing wrong with him. You know what I mean? And I say, Lee Scratch Perry died the 29th of August, 2021. Rest in peace, Lee Scratch Perry. That is also another story that I think is going to run for a little while. Now, one of my favorite artists, Alicia Keys, inspired by a young adult graphic novel scheduled to release next year, Girl on Fire. The story of a young 14-year-old girl, Lola Wright. Can look out for that. Girls on Fire. Not the tune, just the novel. Yeah, nice one. Yes, so the Canadian Drake, new album has hit the road. It's getting a lot of rotations, getting a lot of plays, and he has paid respect or credits to the Beatles, and it features artists such as Nicki Minaj, Travis Scott, and Lauryn Hill, and Trey Dollar. Yeah, all those artists alongside Jay-Z. There's a few more as well. No popcorn on this album. No popcorn on this album. They said popcorn was gonna be on this album, but no popcorn. But Ty Dolla is on it. You know, Ty Dolla is on it. You know what I mean? But no popcorn. I don't really like popcorn myself. When I go to the cinema, people ask me if I want some popcorn. I says no. Then again, I haven't been to the cinema for a long, long time. Now, what has also happened is Drake. He's had a dig at the guy that you see on my screen next to him. He's had a dig at Kanye. Yeah, we'll wait and see. I don't know. I don't know why artists do that. I really don't. I don't know why they have a dig each other. Why they just make music and carry on and just let people enjoy the music and do the right thing. Maybe because I'm getting old and do the right thing. I don't know why they have to fire up at each other. It's all love and peace and respect from me. You know what I mean? But I don't know why they have to fire up. And, I mean, if someone fire at me, I just take no notice and carry on doing my business. That's who I am. Maybe I have reached that level. But they always firing up on something. I guess he also gets the fans excited. You know what I mean? Yeah, must get the fans excited that they probably, when things like that happens, you know what I mean? I mean, like for years we used to see people like Beenie Man and Bounty Killer fans. Runs. Yes. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now. Okay. Movement days in Jamaica. 5, 6, 7, 12, and 13th of September are confirmed movement days before corona cases. Death is 1,646. Recovery is 49,045. Now, this is a figure, I don't know what to put in this one, but listen, have a listen to this. Global cases, right? I'm gonna let you say if it's a million, a trillion, or a billion, or whatever, right? Because I don't know what to put on it. Sound like telephone numbers. 0.55586 and 1.88 deaths. So, I don't know why that is happening. Yeah. So, I ask you, the Prime Minister of Jamaica has, say people shouldn't be moving around. My screen is looking a little bit funny. Say that people should don't move, right? No, if the Prime Minister of Jamaica do something right, as I said, the Prime Minister is under a lot of pressure. And I'm not defending the Prime Minister. He's under a lot of pressure. And a lot of people is licking out on him saying this and that and that and all the rest of it. Yeah. Now, here I'm going to go with this. A lot of you guys in the early days when the PM or ministers, whether Labour right or, PMP or the other party, you know what I say? People should take the vaccine and make it kill them. That's what a lot of you guys say. Now, when you find out that the vaccine is working, you say the PMs on the MPs, what we call MPs, should not get the vaccine. Yes, right. You see where I'm going with this? Now, there's a lot of people as well say, it's Babylon thing. Me gonna lick out on Babylon because it's Babylon thing. So you go around and you teach a system. So you're licking out on Babylon system. Now, if you're so clever and talking about this Babylon system, why you don't find on your own thing and sort the damn thing out? Yes. Or take a chapter from Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey went on and go to local people and tell the local people what you are actually doing. Put it in the street. Go down there and talk to them so those people can understand what you're doing. Instead of having some idiot influence them all the time and them listen to this, them listen to that, them listen to over there, and them listen to up, here, there, and everywhere. Yeah. So that's what you need to do, Mr. Prime Minister. That's what you need to do. You need to go to local level. Bruce Golding used to do it. The only thing with Bruce Golding, them used to look out on Bruce Golding. They used to swear at Bruce Golding, but he still handled it. Yes. So that's what you need to do. You need to go to the local level and tell people what you're doing and explain the situation. You know what I mean? Because it's a small country. And if you keep getting infected, yeah, a lot of you people not gonna exist. The other thing as well, a lot of you guys do is that, you know, up and down and in supermarket, you know, go here, you go there. Even when you don't need to go to supermarket, you go on a supermarket, so you don't have no food. I want to have bloody food anyway, right? So you do that. By doing that, you catch the virus. When you catch the virus, what you do? You blame the Prime Minister, and when you catch the virus as well, what you do? You take it back to your granny and say, my granny dead, my auntie dead, my children dead. This, that, my wife dead. But it's you take it back to them. Yeah? It's you, nobody else take it back to them. So that's what you got to realize what you're doing. The other thing is, I'm not just talking about that country alone. That's a reality of things. The other thing as well, a lot of people say we're not taking the vaccine. No, I'm not advocating that anybody take the vaccine. That's not where I'm at. Everybody suits to do what they have to do. But a lot of you guys say you're not take the vaccine. So I said to Mr. Prime Minister, what you need to do, you need to go and talk to those local vulnerable people who are vulnerable people, very vulnerable, who's got this and who's got that and who's got that. And I said, listen, take the vaccine and let it protect you. If them don't, and those who don't want to take the vaccine, then I'll feed them business that. Yeah? If them don't want to take it, I'll feed them business. But you can't have people licking out on this and licking out on that. And I'm sure he's trying to do a good, because I don't support any party out there, so let me just get that right. Yes? Let me just get that right, just in case you think, a lot of you guys may think I've got an interest. I've got no interest at all. The only interest I have is doing this program. That's where my interest lies. So those are some of the things that you need to put in place and that you guys need to consider. Because this is, when you guys get the COVID on the dead, you got to blame the Prime Minister as well. Is the Prime Minister COVID, him should have this and him should have that and him should have that. So him can't win. Him can't win. A lot of you guys, listen to common sense. But some of you don't got no common sense because of some of the stuff you don't take anywhere. Yeah. I hope I get the point across. Because it's no use listening to this rumor, that rumor, over there, here, there, and everywhere. You know what I mean? So I said, Mr. Prime Minister, you need to go to local level. That is my advice to you. You need to go and have meetings with local different people and go to local places. You know what I mean? So you can get your message out through. And the other thing as well, you're not going to win the next election, I'm sorry to say. Because too many people are the cup on you. You're not going to win the next election. I feel it'll be America if you link the elections. But those are the sort of things. And I says, you people just running up and down and doing this and doing that and say, oh, it's a this and this and this and it's because of Babylon system and this and that. Do something, get involved in government, get involved in politics, get involved in different things. And say you can do this and you can do that. So you can change Babylon system. Because I've been hearing that for so long in my life and nobody now do nothing to change Babylon system. And I suppose you're going to tell me, oh, Marcus Garvey was this, Marcus Garvey was what Babylon system getting. Bull! It's bull! Yeah. Wow, I'm hot now. I know. I'm feeling hot. But, you know what I mean? That's the reality of sometimes things. Because sometimes these things, sometimes when you hear these things going on, they just think, oh my God, you know what I mean? Come on, get a life, that's the reality of things. Ignorance. And sometimes it's a lack of education or a lot of education knowledge and lack of common sense. And people listen to all kind of different stupid stories. You know what I mean? Oh, it's Babylon this, it's Babylon create this, it's Babylon create that. So, listen, people are going to say, okay, we've had the jab, we've had the vaccination, and we still get coronavirus. Yeah, that is true. That happened to people. But the thing about it, a lot of people take the flu injections, and a lot of people get the flu. So it's just a little, I'd say, from my working out, it's just a little way of saying, well, if you have the two vaccine, you stand a less chance of getting big infected, yeah? Yeah, you stand a less chance of getting infected if you have the double vaccine. Just like when you have the flu jab. If you have the flu jab, there's no stopping you from getting the flu. You still get the flu. Yeah? Yeah, you still get the flu. So all these things can happen. Yeah. So all these things can happen. So what you guys need to do is to deal with this sort of thing. You know what I mean? Yes, and I say the Prime Minister as well. Let me talk to you again. I think I said this before, but just in case you missed them. Bruce Golding used to have Jamaica Live. Yes. So you need to take a page from Bruce Golding and deal with this. You know what I mean? So who is he giving the Prime Minister advice? Yes, you need to take a page and go and have those little meetings and do these little things. You know what I mean? Like say, Bruce Golding did the Jamaica Live. Him used to get stick. Him used to get battered. People used to swear at him. But him still do it. So you got to go to ground level and to explain yourself a bit better, Mr. Prime Minister. Yeah? Because we can't have people swearing that you're calling you all kind of names. You know what I mean? They do that. But then again, that is just people that got no respect for anything or anybody. You know? Yeah. Right. That's my rant. Now, there's another little rant. Moving away from Bruce Golding. Moving away from that little rant. Now, there's another little rant that comes into my head, which is nothing at all to do with Bruce Golding. But, now, when they win summits on television, they win something. If they're doing sports, you see them a lot on the television. If they win in a sports championship, you see them a lot on television. You see rappers, yeah. You see musicians, and you see artists, mainly rappers these days, and sports person when they win something or they win a medal on British television. Now, on British television, African Caribbean people I'm talking about, you never seems to see a people who's comparing a, a high audience show or high audience program. You never seem to see that. You never seem to see you never sort of see like a bird watcher, a doctor, a lawyer, a dentist. African Caribbean people, you never seem to see this. Instead, you mainly see these people when they are sports representative or they're rappers or they're entertainers. You never see a lot of the ordinary men in the streets. I'm talking about African Caribbean people. You never see a lot of them on British television. You never see them in what I call the prime time television. You never see them. So we need to say to, you know, the system, you need to change all this. You need to change all this. Don't just put them on. There's very hardly, probably very, very few African Caribbean people that actually front a prime time TV show. Okay, I think you've got one in the morning. I can't recall her name. And I think you've got the man who presents the news, you know, on one of the channels. But like a massive game show, you never see that. You know what I mean? Like a very, very big prime time. You never seems to see that. So I'm asking you guys, put some of these people in their show. It's not because they can't qualify, because you got a lot of people behind the scenes. You got a lot of African Caribbean people behind the cameras. So you need to show these people more. You know what I mean? You bird watcher, you walker. You know what I mean? All these sort of people you need to see. Instead of the sports and your rappers and that's it. Because there's more to Afro-Caribbean people more than this. Yeah. There's a lot more. So we need to see more of this in the future. Yeah. Thank you. Right. That ends my rap for this week. My rants. I call it a rap rant. See, I changed the name each week. Rap rant. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Breakthrough TV at gmail.com. Yeah. Let me say thank you. Now, this lady we've lost from Birmingham, Michelle Hemings. And this is where we pay respect to Michelle Hemings' family. Michelle was a fantastic lady. I had the opportunity of speaking to her on this program. I think it was program week 6, what we call week 6. She's also done other programs with Breakthrough TV. I think she was on a program called Your Health is Your Wealth. Our health is our wealth, you know, with Tony Kelly. Yeah. So, and we say condolence to her family. She was she had a lung transplant in 2018, and she recovered very well. She fronts numerous amounts of charities, you know what I mean, making aware of organ donation. She was a champion. I had the pleasure, as I say, of interviewing on this program, and I also had the pleasure of talking to her on my radio program that I do, and she had set up a wonderful charity. I recall talking to her, and she was at the charity place, and what she was actually promoting to raise awareness of organ donation. She also had this latest event that was actually coming up called the Black Tie event, and I think that will actually still go on. Yeah, I'm almost sure that will actually go on, because, you know, but I think you have to give the family time for, you know what I mean, grieving. So that will still carry on. As I say, Michelle was a wonderful person. She was a champion. She do so much good work. And I say she was what you call one of 5, the famous 5. You know what I mean? And she had her lung transplant at London Popworth Hospital, which was marvelous, and she was doing great. But sadly, we've lost her. And I'm going to try and see if we can find a clip of where I had a chat with her. And when I had a chat with her, we was actually talking about the well, you wouldn't believe it. We was actually talking about the I could say we was actually talking about the environments. Yeah. So I'm going to see if we can find that clip And my guest, and hopefully played for you, is on the line. So I'm hoping to speak to her. So let me ask you, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes. I can hear you.
Hello, Michelle, how are you? Thank you. Let me apologize a little bit for the technical issues we've been having.
That's okay.
Yes, so how are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you.
You're good.
How are you?
I'm fine. It is good to have you on the it is good to have you on the phone. Michelle, let me ask you, what is on your mind?
I'm fine.
What is on
Okay.
your what is on your mind?
Okay. Have you been to Perry Bar lately?
Sorry?
Have you been down to Perry Bar lately?
Have I been to Perry Bar? Yes.
Have you seen the amount of traffic down there?
Yeah, I see, because they've actually taken the flyover down, haven't they?
They're taking down half of it. They
Okay.
need to take down the other half. I'm not sure when they can take that down.
Well, the last time I was there, they actually take the whole of the flyover down. And that's just before one stop, yeah?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is your
What's bothering me is the amount of traffic. You know, traffic used to start from like after 4, 5 back in the day.
Yeah.
Now traffic is starting from after 2. You can't go nowhere.
Yeah. And do you go to Perry Bar very often?
Well, I used to drive on drive to the centre.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to get far, I'm 40.
Okay.
It's about 15 minutes for me to walk.
Yeah.
So it's quicker than going all that traffic.
Okay. I mean, I've passed down it a couple of times, and the road. I think they went. Well, my own personal opinion is, I think when they actually finish it, yeah, it will be lovely. Yeah.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. Round the roundabout.
Yeah.
There's loads of traffic, loads of men on the road.
Yeah.
And now there's only one lane on the Warsaw Road.
That's the Warsaw Road, isn't it? The A34.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's taking longer than you to get there, okay?
We'll
And
pause
the-
that.
the-
We'll
is
pause
that
that a
where you
little
go
bit.
home? You go home?
Pause that a little bit. As you can see, Michelle was very concerned about the environment. You know what I mean? And she was talking about the environment, and she had, as you say, she had a lot of plans. She did a great work for charity. You know what I mean? And she was looking forward, and doing a lot of great things. And as I says, unfortunately, the sad thing about her, we've lost her. A wonderful lady. And so she was concerned about the environment where she lived and what they was doing with the roads and back and forth. So she had known without being anywhere strange. She had no plans of going anywhere at all. Let's carry on having a little bit more. Listen to what she has to say. That way?
No, this is near the banking street.
Okay.
So I can either go Great Bar or I can go into the centre. Or
Okay.
if I'm going to Great Bar,
Yeah.
say if I'm going to the party warehouse,
Yeah.
it used to take me like 10 minutes. Now it's taking me like half an hour to 45 minutes.
Okay. And that is
Crazy.
that is not good, is it? That is not good at all.
I know it's not for long,
Yeah.
but I want to try and make Perry Bar look nice for the Commonwealth Games.
Yo, well, that's it, Sonny. They're trying to do for the Commonwealth Games, and
Yeah.
and the thing about that, they sort of got into that, and they because they build all these apartments, isn't it, for
Yeah.
the athletes was gonna stay,
Mm-hmm.
and however the athletes not gonna stay there anymore, are they? Because that building is actually late,
Very late.
very late.
Yes.
You know,
Mhm.
yeah. Will you be going to any of the games up there? What do you think?
But it's just around the corner from me.
It's
So
around,
I'm most likely to be going.
oh, it's around the corner from you.
Yeah.
Oh dear me, yes.
I can walk it there.
My day, so you live
Yeah,
quite
just
close.
let's
You
just
live
pause
quite
it a
close.
little while again. Let's just pause it a little more.
As I say, Michelle was actually, you see how things can be. You see how things can be. She was actually saying she was looking forward to going to the Commonwealth Games, which was next year. You know what I mean? And as I say, she was
just give me a little bit of second. I can hear some noise in the background. So she was actually looking forward to going to the Commonwealth Games, which would be next year. And as I say, she says she only lives around the corner from that. You know what I mean? And it was actually, as I say, let me play this and let you have a listen to what she has to say again. Yeah.
I remember I had a transplant 3 years ago.
Hold on.
So walking does me good.
Okay, you had a transplant.
Yeah.
What sort of transplant you had?
I had a single lung transplant.
Okay.
So haven't you heard about the famous 5?
Yeah, I have heard about the famous 5. But I asked you this question because maybe some of our listeners hasn't heard about it. So you need to explain to some of our listeners. You know what I mean? Because that, you know what I mean. If you see what I'm doing here, you know. So I mean, I've heard of it. Some of us would have heard of it, but not everyone would have heard of it. So you need to tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. So I had a transplant 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm part of the famous 5.
Okay.
So there was 5 of them
Mm-hmm.
who all had transplants.
Yeah.
All within 36 hours at the Royal Transplants Hospital in Cambridgeshire.
Okay.
So if you can imagine, there were 5 of us, 5 patients.
Yeah.
5 soldiers.
My days.
5 surgeons.
Yeah.
And over 40 odd staff.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm thinking staff. And there were over 40 odd staff as well. So nurses and doctors.
Marvelous. Marvelous.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to recover?
I was sick for 22 years.
Wow.
And I was on oxygen for 5 years.
My God.
2 years before my transplant, I was on oxygen 24/7.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on it day and night.
Yeah.
When I had my transplant, which took about 6 hours,
Yeah.
the next day I was a bit groggy, but I felt a bit different.
Mm.
I was able to breathe unaided. I wasn't coughing, so I was coughing for 22 years.
And
And I just felt different.
And how was?
I just felt really airy in my chest.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew I had a new organ inside of me. But, yeah.
And how long did you suffer with this condition before you had the transplant?
I was sick for 22 years.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so you had it at a very early age.
Yes, I had the 3 months after I had my daughter.
Okay.
So I was 24 years old then.
That's quite a young age. That is
Yeah, I was quite young.
that's quite a young age. And how you feeling these days? How do you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling blessed.
Yeah.
I'm able to do so many things that I couldn't do before,
Marvelous.
like walking, driving. I was going to go on holiday last year, but then Mr. COVID coming.
Yeah, Mr.
I'm supposed to fly out 3 times.
Serious.
I'm very upset.
And Mr. Coven come and mash up the whole thing, hasn't he?
Yeah, come back up to
Well, but how do you know Mr. Coven is not a woman?
And he's doing mess up people's business.
I know he's
Because you don't have the vaccination, you can't fly.
That's right. You can't go anywhere. And you know what? I bet if you go on holiday as well, you know what I mean, in the sun, you'd feel great as well. You'd feel a lot better, you know, having, you know what I mean, having the condition that you've had.
Well, I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
About 7 years before my transplant, no,
Yeah.
5 years before my transplant,
Yeah.
I went to Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
and paid a whole heap of money for my insurance,
Mm-hmm.
another whole heap of money for my oxygen.
Yeah.
I only used the oxygen once on the plane.
Okay.
When I got to Jamaica, I was there for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I didn't use my oxygen at all.
All right. That's
And
marvelous.
the amount of walking that I was doing, the fresh air I was breathing in,
Mm-hmm.
it was really nice, really good.
That's fantastic. That's great. Now I got to ask you the £64 million question, because people generally say $64 million, but we don't use dollars in the UK. So I'm gonna ask you the $64 million
Okay.
I know you can't
Right,
have said
right.
it. I'm going to ask you the 64 million pound question.
I've got to get the money or not.
No, you're not going to get to the money. I got no money to give you. I've got no money to give you. I've got no money to give you. Anyway, what do you say? What do you say to people who are reluctant to be organ donors? Hello?
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, because we got a lot of people who are reluctant to say, me not give you no organ, you can't get for me organ. Let me put it in that terms then. So, what do you say to these people?
I would say, I'm not forcing people,
I told you it was a 64 million pound question, didn't I?
definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not forcing people to say, I'm going to sell it. As you know, the new law came out last year,
Yeah.
and everybody automatically under organ donation list.
Yeah.
But if you think of people who are out there, who are in need of an organ,
Yeah.
you know, they're in hospital, at home,
Yeah.
probably got days, months to live,
Yeah.
they need an organ,
That's right. I
you
totally.
know, especially from the same ethnicity as us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get a better match from us. So
Yeah.
I would say, think about it, talk to your family,
Yeah.
and just have that conversation.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow is the first anniversary of the new law
Okay.
that came out last year.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. 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 That's right. That's right. And as I say, what do you say about people who are so reluctant to, you know, what I mean, say, you know, I'm not going to be an organ donor, and there's, I know some people may have different religious beliefs, you know,
Yeah.
and you can't sort of, well, let me take it in plain terms, you can't mess with people's beliefs, you know what I mean? If that's what they believe, they believe, you know, speaking in that terms, you can't mess with what people believe. But I say, some people's got like, you know, really,
Really against it.
yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. See, you get
Let me
a
just
word
pause a little bit. Still listening to Michelle, and she's talking about organ donation. And I says it was a pleasure to be talking to Michelle, you know what I mean? And she has such fantastic outlook and all, you know, so prepared for the future, you know what I mean? And looking forward to the future. And I say, I'm glad that her family allowed us to sort of use this clip in respect of her. And as I say, we say big condolence to her family once again. Also apologize a little bit for the audio delay. You know what I mean? But it's a live stream, this is. And as I say, it's very hot, so the computer is running a little bit slow, and we do all this on computers, as you know. So, as I say, we thank Michelle and her family for allowing us to use this little clip. And as I say, she was looking forward to doing what she does and what she loves. We talk about a lot of things. We had a joke, even when we finished the chat, you know what I mean? We was talking on the phone, you know what I mean? And she was coming in to talk to me on radio about her next event and that sort of thing, you know what I mean? So we say maximum respect to her family. And I must tell you, it was a total shock. A total shock. She says she's a wonderful person and who I actually regard as a friend, you know, to sort of just left us like that. Let me hear a few more things before we actually close the program. Thank you.
So, once you pass, you know, what are you going to do with your organs? You might as well give your organs to someone who needs them.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm not going to make a joke out of this, but some people say, you know, them not give it up because when them come, I'ma come back with it. You must have heard that before, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Some people say, me not give you nothing because when me dead and gone, me I come back with it. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
I can't help when people I'm sorry to say, because if I didn't have my transplant,
Yeah.
I was told that I would only have a year to live.
Yeah.
So imagine knowing you're going to die and you're not going to have the organ to save you.
Yeah.
So those people are really reluctant and I don't want to help other people.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. I can't help them.
That's right. I totally see. I totally see the point. You know, I totally see.
Like I said, I'm not forcing people to say on.
No, you can't do that. You can't do
But
that.
just to think about it and have the conversation with your family,
Yeah,
let
that's.
them know your decision
Yeah, yes.
in case the time comes.
I think one of the things as well, people are probably some people are a little bit, probably a little bit scared in the fact
Yeah.
in the fact that they may think they're, you know what I mean, they may think their organs may go before they actually died. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or say for instance you've been in a say for instance you've been in an accident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're not totally, you know what I mean? You're not totally gone. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
you explained it.
You're not totally gone.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? You have all kind of conspiracy theory, don't they? That people can sort of take your organs and you see what I'm saying? You see where I'm going with that?
That's not here. It's not here, Egan. No.
Yeah.
Everything's all above board.
Yeah.
And before they do take the organ,
Yeah.
the doctors and nurses, the transplant coordinators, they
Yeah.
were discussing with the family.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying, in that conversation is really important now.
Yeah. Okay.
So if that time comes, at least the family will know what your decision was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that conversation is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's marvelous. That's marvelous. I actually and I got to tell you, away from you, I haven't come across many people who's had organ transplants. Can you believe that? But
Wow.
I think about 2017. I had worked with this this colleague about 2017, and I'm not gonna name his name, but I think you probably know who he is. And I haven't seen him for quite some. I worked with him years ago, and then I haven't seen him for quite some time. And occasionally I used to see him, and he says, "Hey, hi, Carl, how you doing, Carl? How you doing?" Oh, somebody I know very well. And,
Okay.
he says, "Hi, Carl, how you doing?" and all the rest of it. And then he says, I'm fine, and he was great. And then I haven't seen him for quite some time. And then one day, I recall, because I was working at the voluntary work I do at the radio station that I do. A gentleman who was actually in charge, he was in the reception, and the person walks in,
Yeah.
and he says to me, he said, "There's a man downstairs who wants to tell you a story about about what's that happened to him." And there was two of us working in the studio that day, and I said to I looked at my other colleague and says, "Shall we have him? Shan't we have him? Shan't we have him?" Because you can't just allow people to walk off the street when you're broadcasting and just come into the studio, which you don't do.
Yeah.
Anyway, I looked at my friend, and sometimes you just snap and think, yes, that is the right thing to do.
Yes.
And we invited this person into the studio. And when he walked into the studio, I never know who I couldn't believe it was the gentleman who I've known for so many years, way back.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling us his story. And this is the point I'm trying to get to. He was telling his story, and he was telling one of the main story he came out was that he was the fact that he had a double lung transplant.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he had a double lung transplant, and he was doing very, very well. You know what I mean? So that was like and he's still with us. You know what I mean? He's still with us, and he does various charity work now. You know what I mean?
Okay.
In helping different organizations. You know what I mean? And making people more aware of it. So it was absolutely fantastic to see that. And I say he's made a complete recovery. Now, if he didn't have that lung transplant, you know what I mean? He wouldn't recover, you know what I mean? He wouldn't recover. So it was great. It was great. It was.
And we both had at the same hospital in Rama. He had 6 months before me.
Okay, you know the person I'm talking about then.
Yes, I do.
And okay, just suppose that I made it for me. Just suppose that I made it, because the person that we're talking about there is Michael Willis, and Michael Willis actually had a double lung transplant. And I say, I know Michael Willis very well, and he knows me very well, and I'm sure he won't mind me calling his name in this particular program, you know. My apologies, get a little bit hot in the studio. And as I say, Michelle was very, very positive, you know, and she, you know what I mean, she was, you know, as I say, she did great charity work, you know what I mean. As I say, she was a good person, and as I say, I wasn't expecting what has happened has actually happened now. She also raised lots of money, you know what I mean, for the hospitals, you know what I mean, and she encouraged people to donate and help people understand, because I say some people are just so skeptical about, you know, donating their organs, you know what I mean, and that sort of thing. So she helped people to be more aware of it and to be say, well, listen, there's nothing to be afraid of. You're not gonna go nowhere. You're not gonna dead and come work with it. You know what I mean? That sort of thing. If you see my attitude towards that, you know what I mean. So, and she put a lot of people's nerves at ease. In helping with that. It's people who are skeptical or people who sort of puts conspiracy theory, how I call conspiracy theory together. You know what I mean? To put some, you know, some of the great charity work that she was doing, you know what I mean, which was actually marvelous, to put a negative feel on it, you know. So it was good. She had all that sort of sense of humor and sense of purpose to sort of clear all that up. And if you see, when we're talking on the screen, we had great fun because we having a laugh and a joke, and this was a lady that was such a full of life and full of confidence, you know what I mean. I recall one day I was walking somewhere, and she was literally having a walk, and I said, "Hi, Michelle, how are you?" You know what I mean? She was doing great because she was walking in the outdoors and doing very well. And I'm gonna miss her terribly. I'm gonna miss her terribly. But as I said, don't forget the great work that she's done and the fantastic amount of money she's raised. You know what I mean? And we say, thank you, Michelle. It was great knowing you. Big condolence to your family. And also, on behalf of myself and Breakthrough TV, condolence to your family. Thank you. It was marvelous knowing you. Thank you. Program is dedicated to Michelle Hemings and her family. Thank you. Wow. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in to the program. That full recording was actually done with Breakthrough TV. If you go to, let me explain this to you. If you go to YouTube, type in Breakthrough TV, we call What's on Your Mind. And that program we did was the 6th in the series. So if you type in the 6th, you can see the whole of that program again. Yeah. Thank you very much. Let me say big condolence, and my time is coming to an end.